Hi guys, welcome to this space or welcome back if you're a returning subscriber. So in this video we're going to be creating a nice little pouch that any beginner crocheter can comfortably complete within 2 hours or so. So for this tutorial you're going to need some DK weight yarn, and then you would also need a 4mm crochet hook, some stitch markers, and of course you would need a yarn needle to weave in your ends at the end of your work. So let's begin. You want to start by creating a slip knot. What I do is that I just create this U on my hand, I make a crisscross, I go into the hole on my right here, and then I pull up this yarn, and once you pull it through you have a knot. What you want to do next is to grab your hook, insert it into that loop that you've created, and adjust the loop to fit nice and snug on your hook. So there you have it. So now the first step for this project is to make a chain of 20. So yarn over and pull through the loop. That's how you create a chain. So we have 1, 2, 3, 19 and 20. So this 20 chains that we've made is the how wide your pouch is going to be. Okay, so we are working from the bottom up. So this is the bottom of your pouch basically. So now I'm going to make 2 chains, which these 2 chains count as my turning chain, does not count as a stitch. So just make 2 chains. Okay, I'm holding on to the last chain we made before making these 2 chains, which is the 3rd chain on the hook now. So 3rd chain from the hook rather. So now I'm going to make a double crochet into that 3rd chain. So to make a double crochet, you just yarn over, you insert your hook into that chain, and you pull up a loop. You got 3 loops on your hook, you yarn over and you pull through 2 more loops remaining, yarn over and you pull through all the 2 loops on the hook. Okay, so now into this chain I've just made 1 double crochet. I'm going to make a 2nd double crochet there. So yarn over and insert your hook, pull through 2 and pull through 2. So into these 2 stitches we have 2 double crochet. Okay, but you don't want to forget what your first stitch is, because when we come back we are going to be slip stitching into this first stitch. So I'm just going to place a stitch marker right there, just so that, so this is the one I just made, the 2nd one, this is the very first one I made. So I'm going to insert my stitch marker there to mark that stitch. Now I'm just going to go into all the chains and make 1 double crochet until I get to the last one. So we have 1, we have 1, and then just keep going until you get to the very last chain on the hook. So now my last chain, in this last chain here we are going to do something a little bit different. Okay, so what we're trying to do is that we're trying to come all around like this. So we are going to work more than 1 double crochet into this last chain. In fact, we are working 5 double crochets into this last chain. So yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, make 1 double crochet, and then you make your 2nd. This is the 3rd one, and then this is the 4th one, and you will notice that your work is starting to turn, and then make the last one, which is the 5th one. Okay, so now we're just going to go back on the opposite side of the chain. You can see those loops. It's the same loops that we walked into when we were walking like this. So we're going to go into those very same loops and work 1 double crochet all the way to the end. And you would also notice this tail of your yarn. You want to make sure that you work over it so that you won't have to come back to weave it in when you are done with your project. So it is basically already woven in as you worked. So yarn over, I'm going to insert my hook, making sure that this is on top of my hook, and then make a double crochet, and then just keep making double crochets into the loops until the end. So right now we've come back around to that very first chain that we made those 2 double crochets at the beginning. So into that same chain now we're going to make 3 double crochets to make it 5 double crochets coming out of that one chain. Remember, we made 5 double crochets at the last chain here, so it has to be the same on this side. So I'm going to make 3 double crochets into that base. So this is 1, 2, and then we have 3. So now this is the purpose of us marking that stitch, because that first stitch that we marked is where we are going to be making our slip stitch. So I'm just going to take off my stitch marker here and insert my hook into that stitch. You pull up a loop and then pull that loop through the second loop that is on the hook, and there you have a slip stitch. Okay, so right now what we've just done is that we finished our very first round of the pouch. So now I'm just going to chain 2 to begin the second round. Yarn over, make 1 double crochet into your very first stitch, and then keep making 1 double crochets into all the stitches around, and then when you are done, you come back and slip stitch into your first stitch. If you need to keep marking your first stitch here, please feel free to do so, so that you don't have any trouble identifying it when you come back to this point. So I'm done with my second round now, and I've just made a slip stitch into my first stitch. So now the pattern moving on is just to make make 2 chains rather, and then make 1 double crochet into all the stitches, and then slip stitch into your first stitch when you get back to this point. Okay, so we're just going to repeat this for 12 rounds, and that's basically how this pattern is worked. Very simple and straightforward. So this is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 and 12. So before I slip stitch into this stitch, I want to attach this yarn and just make 1 round of single crochet at the top. So what I'm going to do to join is that I'm going to insert my hook into the top of that stitch I want to slip stitch into. But then instead of pulling up this yarn, I won't pull up this yarn. Instead, I will drop this one and come and pull up this one instead. Okay, so I pull up this one and then I pull it through. Okay, so what I like to do here at the back is to just make a knot, the tail of the one I've just pulled and then the tail of this other one I've just finished working with. I just make a single knot there to secure it, and then continue working with this new yarn, making sure to weave in these 2 tails as much as I can. So I'm just going to make 1 chain. The yarn I'm using here is a bit thicker than what I've been using before, so that's why it's looking like this, but make sure you're using the same thickness of yarn. So I'm just going to make 1 single crochet all around to create a nice beautiful border or edging, just like a nice contrasting color border. So you just walk around and come and slip stitch into your very first stitch here. So once you get to the end, just make a slip stitch like so, and then make 1 chain to fasten off, and then snip off the extra. So just pull it through, and then all that is left is to weave in this tail. So the next thing we want to do now is to create a drawstring that we're going to attach around. To do that, we're simply just going to make a slip knot with our pink yarn, and then we would make a pretty long chain, not too long, just something that can wrap around the pouch and still have some gap. So I'm just going to chain 1 2 3. Okay, so we have 60 chains exactly. Just going to make 1 more chain and cut my yarn. Just pull it out. Okay, make sure to tighten this very well, and then I also like to tighten this one. So now we're just going to grab a big yarn needle, and then we're going to put the yarn onto the needle, that's the chain, to the needle like this, and then we are now going to weave it from side to side, from this side all around. Okay, so I'm going into this round. This is my 11th round, so if you count from here, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11, my 11th round. Starting from the side here, I'm going to go underneath 2 stitches, and then above 2 stitches, underneath 2 stitches again, and above 2 stitches, and then you just keep going like that, and then you pull it through. Then I'm just going to keep repeating that until I get back to the side. So now once you've pulled it out, just make sure to adjust this such that okay, so yeah, you've created your drawstring. Okay, so at this point now, I'm just going to attach this little flower on the front here to make it look, very nice and cute, and then I would be done. So I already showed you how to make this flower in my previous video, where I made a bucket hat, and I made these flowers around the bucket hat. So I'm going to leave a card. I'm going to link it in the cards so that you can make reference to that, but I'm basically just going to attach this with the with this yarn that is hanging out here by inserting it into here and just making a few knots on the inside, and then I will be done with this project. So once you are done, you can weave in every loose ends wherever you need to, and that is it. I think this pouch is a very cute accessory that you can, add to your bags, and it can also help you to stay organized. You can put your earpods, your lip gloss, your chargers, anything that just makes your bag disorganized, you can always keep in this cute little pouch, and it will serve you a great deal. So I hope you enjoyed watching this tutorial, and if you did learn something from it, make sure you subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.